Welcome, it's your boy Big Al Movements, coming with you with another video with an ungodly cook. This deck is Fire King Tenpai. Yes, you heard that right. I'm adding Tenpai into my Fire King deck, and for the lower ranks it's actually pretty good. It's pretty fun to play with. I'm not sure how it fares up against Mitsurugi and all the other Orcust, Malice, Raziel decks, but anything against else it's pretty good. It's just a fun to play deck. It's not meta by any means necessary, but it does actually work. The Tenpai cards and Fire King cards have some sort of synergies. It's not the best of synergies, but still, essentially any two cards is full Tenpai combo because of Heater. If you crash it against the opponent, you can then search out Genroku and then go into full Tenpai combo. I've got 3 Jurak Megalo. Jurak Megalo is actually a pretty good card. You pop it using Kiring, and then you can dump Astero, and then during your opponent's turn, it's basically a quick effect board wipe. Be mindful if you've got Viking Island on play, because then Viking Island is a mandatory effect, meaning it happens last and destroys all your monsters. So make sure to use your Viking abilities first before doing the Jurak Meteor effect. Otherwise you won't have a monster on board for a fire to be destroyed. This is a blind second deck. You'll see I'm using Dark Hole mainly because sometimes when I try to normal summon Viking Courtier Alchemix and I have Grunix in hand, if it gets imperm, there's no other play other than using Dark Hole, and then afterwards you can just spiral into bring out OG Grunix, get this guy out, and then you can go into Grunix Eternity Hyang. The extra deck, this is a basic extra deck. You can change it to however you want. Sometimes I corner myself and I can't take out the opponent, so that's where Seals comes into play. If they're immune to destruction, that is. We've got Typhon. I know it's a surrender button, but sometimes it could come into play. And obviously Vault Seas Atlantis to face down summon their cards essentially and pop them. You might want to be wary about Heater. The search ability only works when you link summon it. In a previous game I summoned it using Promethean Princess, but unfortunately the search doesn't work. I'll show you what I can do going first, and then I'll show you a game where I'll go second. Okay, for our first game, this is us going first, and I'll show you what we can do, what sort of interruptions we get. We get hit with Ghost Ogre, but obviously Fire King Sanctuary can protect field spell. The funny part is it's field zone card, so even if you had, let's say, your Sangan summoning in the field zone, you can actually protect it. So it's not just the Fire King Island, so there's some sort of synergy there. Obviously it only searches Fire King Island, but it is still a protection for your field zone card. And here we are, we popped Jurak Megalo. Megalo dumps Astero, and Astero is a quick effect board wipe because you can special summon the one and only Jurak Meteor, giving you a board wipe. Just be sure when to use this board wipe, because obviously if you're going to destroy your Viking Island, then all your other monsters are destroyed, leaving you with nothing. And it does have a secret ability that you can special summon one tuner from your graveyard, but if you're destroying Viking Island, this is a mandatory effect, so it goes first, meaning whatever you summon afterwards get destroyed. A bit unfortunate, but still. I mean, the only other thing you could do is you summon out a tuner if you did have one, and then let it get destroyed, and then afterwards you can go Garunix effect on the opponent's turn. But Yeah, so we're keeping out 2 level 8s so we can XYZ into Garunix Eternity, and Garunix Eternity is just a monster wipe on summon. Now we're using Sangen Kaiman just to get Genroku out, so we have 2 monsters in for a Seals play. I think I overextend into Fadra so I can get a battle protection for Fadra anyway, and then I can just bring out Genroku back. That was my thinking. Maybe I probably shouldn't have done that, I don't know. Unfortunately, they come out with a Lightning Storm. I protect by popping Garunix, but then they had the Harpy's Feather Duster just to wipe everything off, and now I've lost my Seals play. Maybe I should have used Seals and bounced Fire King Island. Yeah, I probably should have done that because Fire King Island only destroys your board if it goes to the graveyard, not leave the field. So that was a bit of a misplay there. They had board buy for my Garunix, so that was a bit unfortunate. If I had Chundra here, I may have could summon him later again when you summon out Meteor, but I didn't. Here we are. They're playing Sangan Summoning. I was hoping they didn't have a monster to play, but I preemptively used Jurak Meteor, and you'll see they actually just Tenpai'd me in the end. So it was a bit unfortunate. I had a pretty good board. If you play it better, you could have gone through. I get Ponix for the clapback, but unfortunate there was no clapback and they had Pydra. So there we are. So maybe I should have waited for Pydra to come in and then, or Chundra to come in and then popped it then. Board wipe then, because Sangan Summoner doesn't protect you in the battle phase, it only protects in the main phase. So yeah, a bit of misplay, but you can see how well it performs. So here we are going second. The 2 Maxi and the 3 Perulia really do help this deck a lot because it forces them to do a half board sort of. I don't think this opponent was particularly great. This wasn't exactly the best hand to start off with, but I did have Maxi getting the draws. The most ideal hand is having a Kirin in hand and Garunix in hand, but you're not going to see that all the time. Sometimes you do get bricky hands, but it is what it is. Obviously, before I said only 2 cards is full Tenpai, so at the very least there's that. He's got 1 negate, but Docko, force the Desiree out, and I'll just speed on from here because this is all classic stuff. I forgot you can't target Desiree, so that was my bad. But anyway, this is just GG's. And here we are, this game. I'll put on a duel, but with no commentary, so you can see how it goes.